Do you want to learn the tools and strategies that can propel you to the next level in life? Do you want to understand how to maximize your fullest potential? Since 2001, Empower You has impacted and changed the lives of tens of thousands of people from around the world. And now we bring the life-changing experience to you. So welcome to the Empower You podcast with Brent Williams and Byron Dempsey, the podcast that delves into the ins and outs of the Empower You program and gives you a behind-the-scenes glimpse into what really goes on at these life-changing events.
This episode, we're filming it as episode number 3, whether we post it as that. We're going to be talking about gratitude. Now, this is an entire section in Empower You. It's the shortest section. Doesn't mean it's not the least important, though. Obviously, we mentioned we're in lockdown recording this right now. COVID's hit the world very hard. So gratitude's more important than ever. But why did you want to talk about gratitude so early on in the podcast, and why is it so important to you?
We've said a few times already that a big reason why we wanted to do this podcast was to improve people's mindset. And the best way to improve people's mindset is to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. So, what is gratitude? Gratitude is being thankful for what you have as opposed to being upset for what you don't have. And I just know, and I can only speak about my own personal experience with gratitude. Gratitude has enriched my life in the most amazing way. There have been studies that have been done on gratitude to link that when we show gratitude in our life, it actually releases a chemical in our brain that makes us happy. Therefore, gratitude equals happiness. And I'm a big believer gratitude really is not necessarily about what life we have, but the way that we see our life. And that is our choice. And that's empowering because we can change the way we see our life by asking better questions. And a huge part of what that is around gratitude. It's what we focus on. So that's kind of why I'm so passionate about it, because it can only enrich your life. It can only be positive for you. And it just cultivates a more healthy mindset, in my opinion. Yeah,
it's so important. And it's something I think, I've been lucky to have grown up in a good family. But if you haven't grown up in a good family or, you haven't received much gratitude, it's just normal that you don't give it. And it's normal that you don't receive it. And that's the normal to you. But that shouldn't be the norm. And I think it's never been easier to give gratitude because we can shoot a HD video on our phone. We can send audio messages. We can text them in half a second. Giving gratitude can be so easy, yet for some reason, people just don't do it. And that's why I think it's such a great section to Empower You. And did you want to take us through what you talk about the gratitude section and share the note?
Yeah, look, definitely. I'll definitely do that. I'll also say as well, gratitude is also linked to emotional maturity. I think you need to have a level of emotional maturity to understand and appreciate gratitude. I'll also say this, if you've lacked struggle in your life, you probably lack gratitude. I think gratitude, if you ask the right questions, is born out of difficulty. It's born out of challenge because once you go through the challenge, you're then thankful either for the challenge or getting through the challenge. So that's an important point to make.
Once COVID's over, we're all going to be so super grateful that we can go out and hang out with people and have drinks without masks.
Well, that's right. Absolutely. COVID shutting us down, locking us down will only improve our gratitude for the things we took for granted beforehand. My wife is Canadian and I've been over to Canada a lot and they have so much gratitude for summer. As soon as the sun is out, they are out, beaches, pools, barbecues, because over the course of 12 months, they have a window of time where they can be out in the sun. Why? Because they have harsh winters. They call it, what do they call it? The winter blues. People can get depressed because literally 3 months of the year, grey skies, snow, cold, trapped inside. There's no sports outdoors. There's no events outdoors. So as soon as that melts, here in Australia, for the most part, we have sun 365 days a year.
Even during winter.
Yeah, and so we take for granted what they appreciate so much because they have gone through the challenge and the struggle to see the value in that. What I talk about at Empower You around gratitude is what I mentioned earlier, that gratitude equals happiness. There's that chemical in our brain that makes us happy. And then I share some different strategies around developing a gratitude mindset. So I have a number of things that I do. The first thing that I think is the easiest thing for everybody to implement is what I call GVs. GVs stand for gratitude videos. The reason I like this is it's super efficient and everybody's used to it. We all get phones, we take photos and videos of everything in our lives. We might as well film ourselves showing thanks for somebody in our lives. Now, it costs you nothing to do. It's all of 30 seconds to get out your phone and film yourself showing gratitude to somebody in your life. Then you just text it to them, email them. It's effortless, really. And what's great about doing a gratitude video is it's a total win-win. If I send you, and I'm sure I've sent you a gratitude video before, I send you a gratitude video, it makes you feel awesome about yourself. I'd like to think it makes you feel good about me because I've recognized the gratitude for you and communicated that. So now I've made you feel good about me, which makes me feel good about myself. It's a win-win situation all around. And look, you can pay people a number of ways. You can pay people with cash money because they work for you, or you can pay people in gratitude, recognition, and validation. And everybody on the planet has the potential to be a multi-billionaire when it comes to giving out gratitude, recognition, and validation. So the first tip is do gratitude videos. I would recommend, if you've never done before, send one a day for a week. Form that habit, one a day for a week. First thing you do when you get up, shoot a gratitude video to someone in your life.
Just add it into your morning routine.
Yeah, make it routine habit, brush your teeth, gratitude video, breakfast. And then do one a week for a year and watch how much your life will change. Watch how people will change their perception of you only for the better because you are sharing gratitude with them. The other thing I'll say as well about gratitude videos is you'll be amazed at the impact it has on people.
Oh, and it's the same thing like Empower You. 2 days of your life can, have such a big impact on you. Just like 30-second video can have such massive impact. I actually had one of Dale's events years ago. He had a guy, he does like a round table session, and I sat down with him and he had a group of other people. And he said, I want you to pull out your phone and just message someone randomly. You wouldn't normally, not your parents, but someone you wouldn't know, and just say, hey, I hope you have a great day. I love you lots or something. And he said people make $250,000 deals off that because they say something, they go, thank you so much, I appreciate that. We should grab a coffee. Oh, you're working on this? Bang, let's partner up. There's no intention.
Yeah.
And you go in with no expectation of a response. Because you're not trying to get a response. You're not trying to do it for you, you're trying to do it for them. Yeah. That's the important part.
That is the important part.
You're trying to give gratitude for gratitude, not because you want to, get a great video back or something.
100%. I'm really glad that you made that point. That's a really important point to make. And I'll also say this. You also touched on something else that I want to expand on. You said that you just send a text message to someone for sending it. When you do a gratitude video, do it for something small. Like, do it for something you noticed them doing 2 months ago. Not for if somebody did something awesome for you the night before and then you send a video of thanks, that's great. I'm not discounting it. But it's far more powerful if you recognize someone for something that they may not have even seen themselves. Something small, and do it randomly. The randomness makes them feel like that you are always in their thoughts. And that's the power of that. That's the power of that. Because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's all about effective rapport building, which is all about communication skills, which is a whole nother topic we'll get into.
There's going to be multiple
down the track.
episodes, I think. Yeah. Gratitude is something that's just so important. It's so easy to give. I think that's one of the key parts. It's so easy to give and so effortless to give, yet most people won't do it. Like how many people send you a video? Not many.
Not many.
So, some of my friends will send messages here and then. I think audio is a great one as well. It doesn't have to be a video.
Yeah,
Start off
could
with
be
a
an audio
text if you
note
want.
or a text. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a video.
Yeah, I don't even remember doing one of my presentations on the 1,000 Doors when I got people to, and you guys can do this if you want, if you're listening. Grab your phone, go to who you follow on Instagram, flick through it randomly, and just stop. And then just whoever you land on, message them, hey, hope you have an amazing day.
I love that.
Whatever.
I love that.
And every single one of them responded and said, thank you so much. And you get weird responses like, are you okay? What's going on? Because that's how humans react.
Exactly. I saw a TikTok just yesterday of a man sitting on a bench. So someone had filmed him not knowing he's being filmed. And another man walked past and just gave him a note. And he opened the note and read it. And then it showed on the screen what the note said. And I think it was something along the line, I'm paraphrasing it, something along the lines of, if you're reading this note, know that you're special, know that you're great, and keep fighting the good fight to have an amazing life. You deserve it. And you just saw this man who didn't know he was being filmed. He kind of read it because he's like, who's this person giving me a note? What's this about? And you could just see him processing it. And then he started to cry. What did that cost the person giving the note? Nothing.
Literally nothing.
And this is the thing. The person reading it knows that the person giving it knows nothing about them.
Yeah.
It was just a note that could have gone to anyone, yet it still had a profound effect on him. So if that can have an effect on somebody who doesn't even know the person, could you imagine the effect of you sharing gratitude to somebody you know?
And that was an evergreen note, as in you could give that to anyone.
That's right.
It wasn't specific.
Could have been given to a dog.
Yeah.
We wouldn't read it, of course, but
But yeah, that's the whole point. And
Yeah.
I think it's just so powerful. And that's a great example. I
Yeah.
think it's such a great, and obviously you could argue, well, he was doing it because he wanted to get views or whatever, but it's like,
oh yeah. But putting that aside, putting aside the intention of the person who gave the note, let's look at the effect it had on the person it's given to.
Exactly.
That's the focus there.
Yeah.
And you know, what I would say, if anyone is watching this podcast now, listening to it, pause it right now. Do a gratitude video right now and then come back to us. Like, do it now. Don't wait till it's finished. Do it right now. Like, do it right now. Make the decision. Film it. Don't wait, oh, I'll do it later today after work or next morning. You'll forget it.
Yeah, you won't.
Do it right now. And then here's what I want you to do. Set an alarm for 24 hours from now. So that alarm goes off on your phone. Oh, that's right, gratitude video.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to do it. You already know you're not going to do it if you don't commit to it right now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And because it's small, it's not a priority.
Yeah.
Like, it needs to be a priority. And again, it doesn't have to be video, just anything.
Yeah.
You could even hug them.
Look, I mean, we do letters. You know, we do gratitude letters that empower you, like writing a letter.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
Letters-
old school. That's old school.
Yeah, but something about letters is so powerful.
Yeah.
Like the letter you just gave him, more powerful than a text, I think.
Yeah.
Because you don't get it as often.
No, you don't get
How
it.
often do you get a letter?
Yeah, it's that extra effort, isn't it?
And you know they had to write it.
Yeah. Put the stamp on, know your address. Takes time. There's a lot of love in the letter. And the great thing about a letter, it's a keepsake. And you read it again and again to reinforce that gratitude. You know, there's another process that we do at Empower You. We call it the UR process. And without trying to give too much away here, essentially all I do is I get people to stand opposite each other that have spent 2 days together. Not a huge amount of time, but an intense amount of time. And all they're going to do for 30 seconds is share why they're grateful or what they recognize in that person. Things like, you know, Byron, I thought you were great this weekend. You really played full out. I loved how much you participated. And it is amazing how often these simple words bring people to tears of joy. I mean, you've debriefed this a number of times.
You haven't debriefed it yet, have you?
No.
Because, no, that's something we added, and it's one of my favorite parts. Like when you're specifically debriefing over that one thing, and everyone's just going, I've never even had a conversation like that with my other friends before, and I've known this girl for 24 hours, less than.
Yeah.
You know, I received more love in the past 20 minutes than I have in the past 2 years. And it's like, all they're doing is saying how they feel. And they're not,
Yeah.
it's not like you're the most incredible person. It's like, I really enjoyed having you here. Like, you know, I know we didn't get to talk as much as the other guys, but I really appreciated your presence.
Yeah.
When I did it, my first Empower You, which I'd done camp beforehand, but I didn't know what Empower You, how it worked. You hadn't told me much. And I did that. Because I went in as I was older than them, I had done camp, I knew you. I didn't want to lead because I wanted to just be like a bit of a fly on the wall. So I tried not to lead as much as I could. But then my group, I had no idea. They were like, you were such a great leader. It's like, I look up to you so much. I was like, really? I had no idea. And so it was super powerful for me. And that was me experiencing it. That's like my experience with it, let alone facilitating it and listening to what they say and everything. So I think it's one of the most beautiful parts of the weekend, if not the.
Yeah, yeah. And coming back to gratitude and talking about what we have witnessed many times over, the impact that positive affirmations can have on a people. And you've seen those like videos where like talk to a plant really nicely for a month and it grows. You swear at it, it dies. Like, you know, it changes the molecules of water and all this stuff. I don't know if you've seen that. But
I don't know how accurate they are, but I've heard a lot of those stories.
Yeah, I actually should, I'd love to, at camp, we should commit to this. Because we've got 5 days, let's get 2 plants and abuse one of them. Everyone just abuses them every day. And one of them, we just love them, and just, let's see, firsthand, all of us witness that. But, when we talk about the incredible impact that a few kind words can have, if people want evidence of the power of that, go back to when you were a kid and just think about one time someone said you're a piece of shit or you're worthless or you're rubbish. You can go back to that moment immediately, can't you? You grow up, sticks and stones may break my bones. Words will never hurt me. Words do hurt. It's unfortunate, but they do. People own them. That's the thing. When people get bullied, the person being bullied owns that. That becomes their truth. It's not the right way to think about it, but unfortunately, this is the things that we try to unpack and empower you and we try to undo. But if we can see how easily someone can be affected by someone saying, oh, you're fat or you're ugly when you're 7 and you remember that for the rest of your life. Conversely, how easy it is to do the opposite.
And the sad thing is, because I was talking to my mom, just because I get a lot of hate on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like I get a lot of those comments, and I feel like having done it for over a year, it slowly eats away at me. I was like, I just ignore it, but just every single day. And because I've got quite a following now, people almost don't see me as a person. It's like you're just like a figure. Almost.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more brutal. And I think there's some stat, and it's like for every one negative comment, it takes 30 positive comments to outweigh that one.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part.
Yeah.
And you know, as you're mentioning, think back to your childhood. You know, you're fat. You see that kids get that every day now, and that's why I hate how Hollywood perceives bullying. Like it's like, you know, we've been watching Harry Potter, and the bullying from who's the main bully, Draco, is so unrealistic. The way they like point at him and laugh at him, like, you're screw you, Potter, and stuff. It's like that's not what it's like.
No.
It's subtle.
Look, I'll give you an example of like, you know, there's a person in the community, the Impact community, who told me once in private. That, you know, she has so many issues around her body image because her dad would make comments like, do you need more cheese on that burrito? Little subtle.
Yeah. It's not your fat.
Yeah, but you really need to have that extra cheese on there? Like, oh my God. And by the way, this is not a person that's overweight at all. That's like should not have any issues with their body. But yet somebody makes a comment like that and we own it. And so this is the power of gratitude to counteract this stuff. You're giving the gift to so many people. And what's great about this giving that you do is you're creating a habit, and that habit will only help you. And if you can then do that to other people, you can start that change. You know, like if everyone imagine everybody committed to gratitude right now.
The whole world would shift.
Oh, it's incredible. So what was the last thing I want to say about gratitude? That's
Before
right.
you do, I want to share, sorry.
Yeah, no, please.
Something that I do. And
Yeah.
actually, I'll give a shout out to my co-founder of the Gap Year Project, and I've got a book coming out, and he organised the whole book project. Really awesome guy, Joe Weeby. He got me onto this, but what he does is like, I don't give presents to birthdays anymore. I just give them a letter, and I write them a letter. I could give them $20. I could give them a bottle of alcohol, but I write them a letter. And it's a full page thing. He's like every single time. And he did that for my birthday. For my birthday, I got an envelope with a handwritten letter, and I'm like, I love that. And now I've been doing the same thing. I just went for a walk with my mate, and I gave him a letter for his birthday, and he was just saying, yeah, I forgot to say, I really appreciated that. And it's like, I remember I actually put it in my to-do list. I typed out that letter because it was a lot quicker. So I typed it out. It probably took me 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Good way to save money as well.
Yeah. That's actually the money section now we're doing. You know, it's funny, like we at camp, and just to give context, we use this term camp a few times. Camp is like a much bigger, more intense version of Empower You. Yeah. Empower You is like our entry-level weekend. It's amazing. It's life-changing. Our camp's like a 5-day live-in thing. It's, And at the camp, we get everybody to have an envelope. And over the course of the week...
I completely forgot about
that.
Yeah,
everyone gets little cards, 8x10 cards. And you write gratitude and recognition on them for each person, as many as you can.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the camp... you all get this little envelope and you open up and there's like 10, 20, 30 cards from people at the camp saying how awesome you are. I have every single one of them.
Wow.
For 20 years.
That must be,
I've got like a whole shoeboxes full of these things. You know, like I keep all of them. Like I mean, people keep this stuff forever because we all want to feel good about ourselves. We all everyone loves recognition. Everyone loves to be validated. Like we seek that. Love is the highest emotion you can experience. Every decision is born out of, pleasure and pain. So, we love that. It's why we have such outcomes at the weekend is because it's so positive and nurturing to that. So, I mean, that's the power of gratitude. And one little exercise I'd love for everyone to commit to that has the time is Gratitude Rocks. Have you heard of Gratitude Rocks?
Not really. I've seen you bring them up, but I haven't actually seen you do a whole presentation around it.
Totally, yeah. So Gratitude Rocks is just another symbol of recognizing gratitude. So there's rocks everywhere. Like if we walked outside right now, it would take us a minute to find a rock. So spend the time, find a decent rock, and then paint the rock. You could paint the rock just the color. It doesn't need to have a word on it. It doesn't have a statement. But the idea is that you have this rock with you. You either carry it with you or you have it on a desk or next to your bed. And the idea is every time you look at it, you have grateful thoughts. So it's a reference, and a trigger to go, I'm thankful for this today.
Yeah.
So it's just a reminder of it. So I brought one of my gratitude rocks. Now I say one of them, so just happy. And I actually, funnily, I wanted nice rocks. So I got these nice flat rocks. I bought them from like a, kind of like a Bunnings, a big bag of rocks. It was like $40. I have 200 rocks. And then I bought these acrylic markers that can draw on rocks and glass and things. I sit there with my kids. We have a gratitude garden. I have 100 rocks now, and we add them. They say thriving, present, love, joy. And then some of it just like, YNW, you'll never walk alone for Liverpool. I've got like a Jordan rock. They're random ones. And my kids draw them. We've got this whole garden bed outside of my office that's just full of rocks of gratitude. What a simple task. And you know what we did in the pandemic? And maybe I'm going to start it again now that I think about it, is we started putting gratitude rocks outside our house. We put them around a tree full of gratitude rocks. And because people walking, people were taking the rocks, but then putting them outside their houses. Oh, cool. And then people started adding rocks to our rock bed. And so everyone walked past and we'd watch them out the window, not like weirdos, but we watched them. They'd stop and go, oh, look at that. That's nice. And they'd look at the rocks that were painted and they'd think, isn't that great? How easy is it to do? Let's start the movement.
You know what we did in our neighborhood during the first lockdown? And I wasn't really part of it, but I know Mum did it. I think you would hide a soft toy in your
the
garden.
teddy bears.
Yeah, a teddy bear, that was it. Yeah, you'd hide a teddy bear in your garden and kids would walk past and try to spot the teddy bears. And I thought it was so cute.
Yeah, what a simple action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's gratitude.
Totally.
It doesn't feel like it, but all you're doing is putting a teddy bear in a bush.
To make someone go, oh, look at that. It's just, absolutely. So gratitude rocks is an easy tool, easy thing to do. Something fun as a family just to commit to. Like, as I said, I get the kids around the table, my wife, we sit down, put on some nice music, 20 minutes, paint the gratitude rocks, then go set them up. It's just a lovely exercise.
Yeah. And the same with like people do it with their phone screens. So every time you open up, you've got something to be grateful for or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, because I've seen, I remember seeing a few TikToks of girls just like, he bought me back a rock. He went to New Zealand or whatever. He bought me back a rock. And they were like crying. And it's like, it's a rock, but because it has so much meaning, because he chose it and gave it to her or vice versa or whatever it is. It's like, it's a whole gift thing. Yeah, you can buy them alcohol, which is great. Always appreciate that. Or you can give them a letter or you can give them a rock. And if you imbue enough meaning in that rock, they're going to love it.
Totally. Look, at the next camp that we're going to run, we're going to do this. And so the goal is at the start of the camp, we've got 5 days. You got 5 days to find a rock. And that's a little challenge that over the 5 days when you walk around, have your Raz on. That's a whole other conversation, another podcast, to find a rock. And on the last day, we're going to get together and paint them.
Yeah.
And then that, like you said, that has that's symbolic for each person because they've taken the time. What I know, and, does that feel right? No. Does that feel, like really invest in this being important to you.
And if all they do is if they get nothing else from the camp, like with that rock, that's the only reminder they need. Because you've imbued the entire camp essentially into that rock.
Exactly. It's the reference for the whole experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So have an attitude of gratitude. Do gratitude videos. Write gratitude letters. Paint gratitude rocks. Think grateful thoughts. Because gratitude equals happiness. So powerful.
Yeah. And perspective. Be grateful for what you have instead of what you don't have. In the world of social media, that is so important right now.
Yeah. And in finishing up, if you've already done one gratitude video at halfway point, do another one now. We'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you for listening to the Empower You podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. For more information on our live events, please head to www.empoweryou.com.au. We look forward to having you join us again for the next episode of the Empower You podcast.